Our opening video for the event. All right. Good afternoon. I'm Mabel Elmore, the Parliamentary Secretary for Senior Services and Long-Term Care, and your event MC today. I'm honored to be here on the unceded territory of the Lekwungen people, known today as the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, and this event is being live streamed on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's now my honor to invite Elder Butch Dick to offer welcome. You want to stand up there, or you can stand right here?
Hi, Squatchel CMCA. Asa Yukwelipton, Chilea San Lekwungen. Good day, my friends and family. My First Nation name is Yukwelipton, and I'm from the Songhees Nation. Asi am nush jelicha, asi am nush walakwa, haishkwa kwansana techel Lekwungen tanuch, haishka se am nakwilia. And that's a typical welcome, to our nation, to our lands. And we'd like to extend our gratitude to this House for constantly recognizing the fact that it's traditional territory of the Lekwungen people. I must admit that before I came here, I didn't know what Bill 47 was. But realizing when I read the papers how much we need to take care of the people that take care of us. I can't show enough gratitude to not only Vic General, but Royal Jubilee Hospital and Adnac. As I went through an amputation 4 years ago, and the care that I received at Vic General especially was just amazing. I can't say enough for all the people that work there and how much I appreciate each and every one of them. And Royal Jubilee, I spent time there for many health issues. But also, last Christmas, my wife was diagnosed with throat cancer, and she's at the cancer clinic with chemotherapy and radiation treatment. But 3 months ago, she was all clear. And that's because that's directly because of the treatment that she received and the caring that she received. It was like so many arms around you when you go to the hospital in every aspect. And I couldn't say enough when I left Adnac finally to put on my prosthetic and walk out of there. And it's because of them that I could do that. So with my family and with all our health issues, they're just about gone. Because, and it's not the end of health issues, we know that. But on behalf of my family, I want to thank the health care people that are here today. As we say, we lift up our hands to you and show our deepest love and appreciation for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder Butch Dick, for your inspiring words and your welcome. And it's fantastic to see so many of my colleagues here today involved in this work, representatives from the Hospital Employees Union, the public health sector, and many others present here at the Hall of Honor. So I'd like to ask you to give a round of applause to welcome our guest speakers. So I'll ask you to wait till the end and then welcome everyone. We've got our Premier, David Eby. We've got our Health Minister, Adrian Dix. We've got Mina Brossard from the Hospital Employees Union, Clarissa Hicap, housekeeper, Vancouver General Hospital, Darcy Leeworthy, food services worker, Royal Jubilee Hospital, Cora Mojica, food service worker, Vancouver General Hospital, and Sarah Inslee, support services manager, Victoria General Hospital. Let's give them a big round. Friends, we're gathered here today to celebrate the 4th anniversary of the passing of Bill 47 legislation in Parliament. Legislation which was instrumental in strengthening healthcare in our province for patients, families, and especially seniors and people with disabilities by bringing previously contracted out workers back to the public system. Since Bill 47 came into effect through regulation in 2019, thousands of workers have been repatriated and now benefit from better jobs, more stability, and improved benefits. This is truly something to be proud of. With all of that in mind, it's my pleasure to invite Premier David Eby to the stage.
Thanks so much, Mabel. I'll start by acknowledging we're on the territory of the Kwungan-speaking peoples, and thank you very much, Butch, for starting us on such a good day with those personal stories about healthcare and how healthcare workers have supported your family in times of crisis. It was wonderful to hear, and thank you for welcoming us here today. It's just so great to be here with you today. It's such a celebration of important work. I want to take a moment to reflect on those leaders who helped us get here. I'm looking at our health minister. He worked so closely with Premier Horgan. This was a core priority of Adrian's to get this done. And I just wanted to say we have the best health minister in Canada who understands we have to deliver for healthcare workers. We have to support our healthcare workers. Exceptional. And sitting beside him, Mina is here. Politicians don't act in a vacuum. We need advocates, we need champions who fight, and the HEU fought for years on this issue, 4 years, and never gave up. And I want to recognize the work of the HEU and thank Mina for being here today and all the HEU members. And I saved them to the end because you are the people who make a difference. Darcy, Clarissa, Cora, Sarah, the work that you do for British Columbians, delivering every day under stressful circumstances, food, a clean room, the basics to make sure that their hospital stay is as short as possible and they come out better than they went in. It's not possible without your work. You are the champions on the front line. Thank you for delivering for British Columbians every day. Now, as some of you will know, my wife Kaylee is a nurse who became a family doctor, and she's practicing in Vancouver. She knows from practicing as a nurse in rural BC, practicing as a doctor in rural BC, and now in Vancouver, that she could not do her work without the important services delivered by HEU members, delivered by frontline workers in our healthcare system. It is a team effort. Often people think about the doctors and the nurses and the specialists, but every single worker is required to deliver healthcare in this province. Every single worker who delivers healthcare deserves to be treated as a valued member of our public healthcare system, and for too long, that just wasn't the case in our province. Almost 20 years ago, in this building, a law was passed that gutted healthcare collective agreements that protected those workers. And those laws, in destroying those protections for the critical workers in our healthcare system, it paved the way for years of contracting out, flipping contracts, and relentless layoffs. 8,000 people lost their jobs and their benefits. 8,000 people. Most of those people were women, and most of those people were people of color. It was the largest mass firing in BC history. And some of the most vulnerable workers in our healthcare sector were then asked to apply for the jobs they already had, except they were asked to apply at half the pay. It was wrong. 4 years ago today, Premier Horgan, Minister Dix, HEU worked together to start to right that wrong. Bill 47 was passed to repeal those unfair anti-worker laws in their entirety. To the credit of every single member of the legislature, every member, all the parties in the legislature, it passed unanimously. This began a process of repatriating housekeeping and food service contracts back to health authorities. It marked the beginning of my predecessor, John Horgan's work to reverse those failed privatization policies that simply did not work to deliver high-quality care for British Columbians. That change delivered fairness for workers and better health care for British Columbians. Since the passage of that bill, over 4,600 health workers have returned to the public sector. It's amazing. They returned with fairer wages, stronger protections, and renewed benefits for them and for their families. Now, John told me it was one of his proudest moments as Premier, that bill, with good reason. This is an important part of his legacy of making life better for people in our province, and it is my honor to stand here as Premier to recognize that work that he did. To all of those coming back to the public sector, I say welcome home. It's an honor to celebrate this special occasion with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier Eby. Today is certainly a cause for celebration, not only for the repatriated workers and their families, but for all of us. Because when healthcare workers have peace of mind that their jobs are stable and they're getting the support they need from their teams, all of us benefit. I'd like to take a moment, as referenced by Premier Eby, to recognize the leadership of our former Premier, John Horgan, who's unable to join us today, but he's followed the progress of the repatriation closely. And he's delivered on his promise to fight for justice for these workers with the support of our Health Minister. Please join me in welcoming Health Minister Adrian Dix.
I think it's inevitable I'm going to fall off. I wanted to start by acknowledging, of course, the Lekwungen speaking people, and to thank Elder Dick for his welcome. I think that this day and this recognition, my main thought, there's always politics in these things. There's a real difference. This has been, for me and for many of the people in this room, something that we worked on for well over a decade to see happen. But I really feel gratitude. You know, the workers we're talking about who were laid off worked in our public health system for decades without pension or job security or support, who keep our hospitals clean and put food, and deliver food for patients and staff, who do all of the work that makes a hospital run. And we were in March 2020, and we declared a pandemic. And I walked down that street outside, the street with all the cars on it, there were no cars on it, and people who had been treated with disrespect for 15 years, when everybody was afraid to go into work, went into work, cleaned their hospitals, kept our health system running. At a time when the unknown was great and fear was highest, they were there for us. And I think that, therefore, my main thought today is to express gratitude to everyone involved, because gratitude is what's merited from all of us, all the people of BC. Gratitude, of course, to people who've led on this question. My colleague, the Minister of Labour, Harry Baines, who has led and fought for working people his entire life and made this a singular part of his mission when we got the opportunity to be elected to government. Gratitude to my colleague, Jennifer Whiteside, who's not here today and is dealing with some things today, but she is, as everyone in this room knows, one of the primary reasons why this day is occurring, a leader in our province that has made and delivered justice for workers everywhere. And I would say also, finally, and most importantly, as I say, gratitude. We did it, Cora, you know? We did it. It goes without saying that we need to treat people fairly because we need people in our healthcare system, and Bill 29, even in its own terms, makes no sense. It never did make any sense. It goes without saying to say that. But the people who worked in those circumstances never gave up on the political process, on their role as activists, on their fellow workers. And so I leave to say 4,601 workers repatriated, an end to contract flipping. When we brought in single site orders, we ensured that everybody was lifted up. These are extraordinary victories, and also what every single person was due. Every single person was due. This is what fighting for justice and being in government's all about. This is what fighting for justice and being in a union is all about. And this is what fighting for justice as a citizen, as a worker is all about. I am so proud of all of you. I am so proud of all of you. This is your victory, not my victory, your victory, and the victory for the people of BC for justice. I'm so proud of you today, so proud to celebrate this anniversary. Thank you.
Thanks, Minister. I know you've poured your soul into this work, and we're grateful. Another key partner in repatriating workers under Bill 47 is the Health Employees Union, the Hospital Employees Union. And here to speak on their behalf is Mina Brassard, the Secretary Business Manager. Welcome, Mina.
Okay, this duel is making me nervous. Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you, Elder Butch-Dick, for welcoming us to your nation's territory and for the words you have shared with us today. And I want to thank you, Premier Eby and Minister Dix, for making the time for us for this event during a week of long days and nights in the legislature. 4 years ago, Bill 47 was passed by the legislature by all parties in the House. It repealed legislation from the early 2000s that had gutted healthcare collective agreements and paved the way for the massive contracting out and privatization of healthcare services and jobs. Thousands of workers, overwhelmingly women, were fired from their jobs as hospital housekeepers and dietary workers. Global corporations offered them their jobs back for half the wages with fewer benefits and no pensions. And overnight, decent family-supporting jobs were turned into precarious jobs. And an entire generation of healthcare workers were thrust to the margins of the workforce while these corporations profited from their poverty. Many were forced to take a second or third job in order to survive. And I know that many of you know these workers in your own communities, our aunties and our uncles, our neighbors and friends. And let's be frank, these privatization policies were clearly discriminatory in their impact. It was women and racialized workers who paid the price. And over many years, these workers organized, they bargained, and they campaigned for justice and for economic security. And when contracts were flipped, they reorganized and bargained again. We fought those laws all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada, which in 2007 struck down provisions that violated the rights of our members and established for the first time that collective bargaining is a charter-protected right for all workers. But there's no real progress without allies, and we had allies. Jenny Kwan and Joy McPhail, who fought these laws in the legislature, and every NDP leader since, who in opposition and then in government committed to repealing these laws and restoring justice to these workers. Carol James, Adrian Dix, John Horgan. And in 2018, you delivered. And Bill 47 was more than an act of the legislature repealing bad laws. It was an act of solidarity with workers who had been marginalized and shoved to the side. It was an act of recognition that these workers play a critical role in delivering health care. And that reuniting them with the healthcare teams means better healthcare. And it was an act of intention, a signal that we would make life better for workers and for patients, and we did. And I've had a great honor over the last year to take part in repatriation celebrations at hospitals across the island and the Lower Mainland, as we have welcomed close to 5,000 workers back to public sector employment. And I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with workers who've told me that their lives are better and more secure because of the work we've done together. How they've been able to quit those second and third jobs, spend more time with their kids, worry less about retirement, that they finally feel valued and honored as members of the reunited healthcare team. Now, we have much left to do to reverse the impact of privatization on healthcare, and we especially have much to do to fix our long-term care system, which has also been weakened by the privatization policies. But today, I am so grateful for Bill 47 and all that it has meant as we've joined together to build a stronger healthcare system that British Columbians can depend on and which values all workers on its front lines. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Mina. The work done by the HU on behalf of the people of BC has really been outstanding. We appreciate that. And of course, the real people have been impacted by this. And at this time, I'd like to invite Clarissa Hicap, a housekeeper from Vancouver Coastal Health, to say a few words. Come join us, Clarissa.
Thank you, everyone. This is my first time to be here, so I'm just, bear with me. And I bring my friend Ate Cora with me. So I've been a housekeeper and a food services worker at Vancouver General Hospital since 2003. I've been experienced a lot of working for private contractors. I went through contract flipping, where I was fired and I had to reapply for my job. I also had to get a second job, and we had to fight with the private companies to get a proper PPE during the COVID time. This has really hurt, and my co-workers over the years. We were returned to the public sector and in the health authority just 3 weeks ago in housekeeping. Thank you. I work with mostly immigrants, and I want to say on behalf of all of us, thank you for listening to us. The first thing we have noticed working for the health authority is the big improvement in our wages and benefit. I am very, very thankful and grateful to BC and DP government. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clarissa. Great job. And we know how much a change this has made in you and all of your colleagues' lives. Next, please welcome Darcy Leeworthy. He's a food services worker from Island Health. Darcy.
Hi, my name's Darcy Leeworthy. I was a food service worker at Royal Jubilee Hospital for the last 17 years. It's been an honor to be invited here to make this opportunity to tell my experiences. I've been around long and been both working for the contracts and now in-house. I can tell you firsthand there was a good reason why we advocated and supported the transition under Bill 47 and why today is a reason for celebration. So, I will tell you a little bit about the private sector. Private sector wages were very low with large workloads. Training was minimal, which made it difficult to get new hires. Most years working as essential service level, most years we worked at essential service levels, which increased a huge fatigue factor with possibility of mistakes in patient dietary requirements. This in turn made this become a transient job. People did not stay. We have long-term employees that were there because they were dedicated to the patient's needs. Management, before they were very intimidating and threatening to workers. The company treated the workers with minimal respect. Supplies and essential equipment was always low, which made it difficult for employees to perform their duties for patients. Now that we are back in-house, new hires are happening more frequently, especially younger workers. They see a future with things such as a more livable wage, a pension, proper training periods, which lead to less fatigue and less chances to errors, which has led to better care with patients by having the time to treat them with the dignity and compassion they deserve. Nowadays, supplies and equipment are readily available. There is a more positive atmosphere at the workplace and major improvement to care of patients' needs. With new management, they are very supportive, positive coaching, and reinforcement and compassion to the employees. I would like to thank the BC government for implementing Bill 47. And again, thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks very much, Darcy. We really appreciate you and your colleagues, everyone, being here today to join us in the celebration. Next, I'd like to invite my friend Cora Mahika, who's a food service worker at Vancouver General Hospital. Cora.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cora Mahika, working at Vancouver General Hospital as a dietary aide for 18 years. I am one of the 4,000 plus workers brought back in-house. For us at VGH, we were back September 2nd. I still remember at the HEU 2018 convention, when we were all watching the video, and Jennifer Whiteside, who is now the Ministry of Education, was announcing that Bill 47 was passed, that all service workers will be back in-house. Everyone in the room were jumping, hugging, crying with joy. That was never expected. So after that, we waited, and then waited, wondering when will this happen. Some of our members were so anxious, knowing when will it happen. Then, on August 2021, Adrian, our Minister of Health, announced that we will be back in-house. That day, while I was watching, tears flowing, because I cannot believe the dream that we've been waiting for is coming true. This really helped our coworkers. We don't need to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Most of my coworkers were telling me, Cora, we did it. And I said, yeah, we did it all. We did it. For the hard work that everyone put together, for the patience and the perseverance of the workers, and to our HEU family, especially to our HEU provincial executive, who were always there guiding us, answering our questions. We did it, really. Thank you for the BC NDP government for keeping your promise, for bringing us back in-house, and especially to Premier Eby and Minister of Health, Adrian, and to Jennifer Whiteside. Your leadership was awesome. And also to John Horgan, thank you, thank you. We cannot thank you enough, really, for making this the workers' have better life and bringing us back in-house to a one big family. It's true what the saying says, that when there's a storm, there's a rainbow. That when we work together in unity, solidarity, we win and can achieve. Because in diversity is our strength. Unity is our power. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Cora. And I'm so happy to hear how the legislation has made a difference in your life. I'd now like to welcome our final speaker, last but not least, Sarah Inslee, a support services manager at Victoria General Hospital. Sarah.
Up here. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Inslee. I'm a manager for environmental support services at Victoria General Hospital. Once upon a time, though, I was a 22-year-old new to Victoria and went to a job fair for a new privatization for housekeeping at the hospitals. And I was there on day one, and over 7 years I worked my way up through the company, and I realized that I was halfway up a ladder that I never had any intention of climbing. And I started applying for Island Health and the facilities that I was working in through some of the connections that I had made as a housekeeper. And I'd been an HEU employee with Island Health for 12 years after that. And 4 years ago, when I heard that Bill 47 had passed, I just thought, good for them. Good for them. I knew I was still working in the facility, so I still saw my old coworkers every day. They, keeping me posted about what was happening, and I was so happy to hear that this was coming down the road for them. The union had been fighting for them. There was lots of activism among the HEU members, and I was just so happy for them. And then a few years later, I saw a posting for the ESS manager, and I was like, this is full circle for me. I know where they're coming from. I've developed some relationships and skills, and I'm familiar with the Island Health background of it now, and this is a role that I can excel in. And on day one, when we were having our repatriation event, and I showed up there, and I was looking around, and I was like, there's like a dozen people in this room that were on day one with me when we, took over. And there was one person in that room, Rada Dubrovic, who had lost her job when it was privatized, stayed the whole 18 years, and is still my go-to girl in surgical daycare OR now, And I remember being in surgical daycare OR with her, and I was happy to be there. I was happy to have this new job. I was happy to have a job that was minimum wage at the time, I think was $7.50 an hour or something, $7.15. I was making $10.51 an hour. But it dawned on me while I was cleaning with her one day, yesterday, she was doing this job for just under $19 an hour. And today she's doing it for $10.51. How demoralizing that must have been for her to go to work and be doing the exact same task for less money, less benefits, less job security. I mean, we were a contracted company, so if they have a contract for 7 years, that's great. You have job security for 7 years, and then it's all up in the air. And anyways, on my first day, I had a meeting with the staff, and I said, I know that this feels the same. I know that this feels same, but it's different. It is. You're not working for a company anymore that is there to turn a profit. You have better benefits. You have sick pay that accrues every year. You don't have to have that paid out every year, up to 1,120 hours. You need to have surgery. You don't need to go on medical EI. You don't need to pay your benefits. It's a short-term disability for you. You know, you have a pension plan for the first time. And most importantly, you're working for a public sector and they care about you and they're providing a service to your community and your counterparts, and that is their primary goal. So I just want to thank, you know, every person that was involved in that, the HEU leadership, Minister Dix, John Horgan, the NDP government as a whole, and most importantly, every one of those members who fought for years to get back what they deserved all along.
All right, thanks Sarah for sharing your remarks, kind of full circle, here we are. And so this brings us to the conclusion of the formal part of our event. We're going to have a cake cutting ceremony now, and I'd like to invite our guest speakers and friends from HAU and the health authorities to come up for a group photo with our Premier as we get the cake up here for the official cake cutting. And I think just to sum it up, we've heard it from Clarissa, from Cora, from Sarah, from Darcy about what it means, and recognizing the leadership from our Vancouver Island Health Authority and the health authorities to make this happen, and the management, the Hospital Employees Union, and our government to bring justice to this day. It's a great celebration. So this is the real test now, getting the cake out of the carton. All right, okay, mission successful. Some knives, all right. And we got, get the Premier in there, get folks in for the photo. And we're gonna do... Hit the mics. So if you want to start with cake, you can start with cake, and we've got some food as well outside in the foyer. So grab some snacks, folks, and help yourself, and let's celebrate. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. All right.